Welcome to another Friday fun day. And as you can see, I am right in the middle of making some cute little ginger Christmas tags. And so I've done some things ahead so that my video wouldn't get too long. And I'm just trying to find it here. There it is. All right. So right now I am just gluing the frosting onto my little tags. And for those of you that are watching the replay of this, I'm just giving it a second here for people to get notified that I'm live and find me. But if you are watching it live, the chat is open, so please say hello. And if you're new, tell me where you're watching from. Or even if you're not new, I don't know where everyone lives that I watch here on YouTube. I will show you the product that I'm working on here in just a second. And I'm gluing with my little art glitter glue. I love this stuff. It's kind of really forgiving, and with that very sharp point on the nozzle, it's really easy to make little tiny drops of glue. And it dries clear, and even if you're outside of the lines a little bit, it doesn't really show up. So I love this stuff. And I just have a little silicone mat here that I like to glue on, and I did get that from Stampin' Up! If you're interested. Okay, so I've got so many projects going on here, you wouldn't believe my desk if you saw it. It's a little crazy. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is I've got this tag set. I have my camera down a little bit closer so it's hard to see everything. So this is the wavy and regular tag dies from My Creative Time. And so it cuts out these 3 tags all in one swoop of your machine. And then these are the frosting bits, and those cut out separately. And that's really, you can create with just these, but if you want your tag to be a little bit bigger, then these are called the scallop tag dies. There's the information. Again, My Creative Time. And so here are the 3 fun background tags. And so I've already cut those out. And so I'm just getting the frosting, if you will, here onto my tags, and then what's going to go on after that I have prepared ahead of time so that all I have to do really is just put these cute tags together. I colored them all up ahead of time, and each one is completely different than the next, and I used a different paper. Yeah, I believe I used a different paper on each one. So I've got 9 tags here, I think. And each of them will be different. So that's kind of fun. And I have used these tags in a previous video and made some little ginger tags, which I happen to have sitting right here. So let me just show you real quick. So these are not the same gingers that I'm doing today, but these are the ones that I made previously. And I thought they turned out really cute. I colored them up with colored pencils. Okay. North Carolina. Hi, Connie. Hi, Marianne. Thanks so much for joining me. North Carolina. What's your guys' weather like? It's beautiful here today as far as blue sky. I always appreciate that. It's so much nicer to look out the window and at least see blue sky even if it's chilly. But it's, I didn't look at the temperature really. It's either high 40s or low 50s here on the Oregon coast with blue sky. Hi, Dawn. You're in Maine. You are on the other side of the United States from me. I'm in Oregon. So, do you guys think I have an accent, me being in Oregon? North Carolina, I know you have an accent and I love it. Maine, I know you have an accent and you guys are probably just like I am. I don't have an accent. You have an accent. But I never thought of myself as having an accent until we went to visit my husband's sister and her family in Michigan. And I guess I never really thought of them as having much of an accent till we actually went there. And just some of the things the differences of things we say from state to state, it's really funny. And they were saying something about my accent, and it's like, what are you talking about? I don't have an accent. And I really don't think I do, but you know. And we, living in Oregon, we call it Oregon. And when I go somewhere else to another state or whatever, most people call it Oregon. And it's like, it's not Oregon, it's Oregon. Oh, that's funny. Maine, you drop your R's. R. I love accents. People with British accents or Australian accents, I just can listen to them talk all day. I love it. Do any of you follow or watch Brenda Gant? She does, well, she became famous during the pandemic for making biscuits. She did a little video at home and it went viral. And if you haven't watched her, she is a hoot and she's just the sweetest person. I love watching her in her kitchen. I love her accent. She's from Andalusia. Where is that? Alabama, I think. I think that's where she is. Oh, yeah, I know. Maine, you say ca. I remember an episode of The Price is Right when, oh, who was it? Bob. Bob was the host. And there was somebody, I must have been from Maine on there, and they were going to win a car, and they kept saying "ca," and he kept making them say it over and over and over because he was getting the biggest kick out of that. But back to Brenda. Yeah, if you haven't watched her, she does her videos over on Facebook on a page. There's a bunch of different groups that people have started up that aren't her. And I think she just hasn't figured out how to maybe report that or whatever to try to get it stopped. But her videos, she does load them up to a YouTube channel as well. But I really so enjoy watching her. She does mostly cooking things, but she does some crafty stuff. And she's just a pleasure and a treasure to watch. Gantt is how you spell her last name. Okay, so I am on the frosting. So, Dawn, did you make her biscuits or just biscuits in general? She made an interesting pie crust. Pie paw crust, I think, is what she called it. And I think it's because you put it in the pie pan. You don't roll the crust out. And she made her crust with oil. I tell you, I tried making, oopsie, I must have hit my camera. Sorry about that, you guys. I tried making a pie crust once with oil instead of shortening or whatever, and ended up having to throw it straight into the garbage. It was a mess. But she also put milk and a little bit of sugar in her pie crust, and I've never done that either. But then it went after the crust, the dough all came together. She put it right into the pie plate. It was a ceramic one, and just pushed it around into the pie plate instead of rolling it out. And I thought, holy cow, that looks a lot easier, because the rolling it out part is what I have trouble with. And you would think by the age I am now that, you know, I would maybe have pie crust mastered, but I do not. But I did watch another guy doing pie crust on YouTube yesterday, and he rolled it out between two sheets of parchment, and I have parchment, and I thought that's what I'm going to do, because I'm going to make an apple pie and a pumpkin pie. I keep hitting my phone here, for Thanksgiving. And you know, pie, well, I don't look at it as being a fun task necessarily. And it's like, I'm just glad when it all comes together, and it's like, phew, okay, the crust is in the pie plate, and the baking it and all that, you know, that's fine. But it's just getting that pie crust, and mostly it's the rolling it out. It sticks to the rolling pan, or, you know, the flour's everywhere. And so I really like the idea of the rolling it between the parchment. Cold butter in your pie crust. And something that this guy was saying when I watched his video yesterday was to put it in the fridge after the dough comes together, to wrap it up and put it in the fridge for like an hour. So I think I'm going to try that too. Okay, so now look at this cuteness. So this is from My Creative Time, and this set is called You Warm My Heart. And there are coordinating dies. And let me tell you, when she does dies, her dies cut out everything, even all these little polka dots. All of the greetings, everything, there's a die for. And her prices are really, really reasonable. So you get the bigger one and the smaller one. And for my tags today, I'm using the smaller one. And then I also wanted to show you that there is coordinating papers that you can get for this set. And you know, I love these papers, and I used this one with the candies, but that's the only one I use. There's also these things in here that the dies will cut out, so if you don't want to, you could just get the dies. And the well, that probably wouldn't work, because you would still want all the sayings, and so there's so many dies that don't cut out things in the paper pad. But if you don't like to color so much, you can just cut out these things. But if you don't want to do that, you can always use the really pretty gingham that's on the other side. But are you guys stingy with your paper? Because I am. If I get a pad that I really love, it's like, oh, do I want to use that for that? I need to save it for... Isn't that the silliest thing? Because they just keep coming out with cute papers all the time. So why save them? All right, so here are my little ones. Like I said, I already stamped them and cut them out and cut out all the little patterned papers. And then I ran the tag die through, the one that cuts all three of them out at one time, out of white, so that I have a piece of white to put on the back, because the patterned paper is going to be the back of the tag, and I want somewhere white to put my to and from. Oh boy, this is so close. Okay. I don't usually have my camera down this low, so that's why I'm having a problem with it. I might have to fix that. Okay. Mary Ann, I used to make my pie crust that way, saved making a mess and so easy doing it in the pan. Yeah, I just thought that was so interesting. She was making a, okay, I say pecan, but some of y'all say pecan. I know you do. You say pecan, and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay, so let's just make these one at a time. Oh, that's something else I find interesting. I noticed that Brenda says it, and so does Paula Dean. We say one at a time, and they both say one at the time. One at the time. And I thought, one at the time? That's not what you say. Oh boy, it's just so fun, isn't it? I love it. All right, so really all I have to do is glue these together. Some of my patterned papers are from Stampin' Up, and I just started pulling pads out and, you know, picking things. Actually what I was trying to do was just match up some things that went with the colors that I used. Now I'm debating, should I, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pop up the top part and glue down the bottom. So let me get a little bit of glue down here. And just going to put a few little dots around. See, my instinct is to put it right there in the middle like that, but then the handle will be hanging all the way over, but I don't like that. So I'm just going to go with my first thought and do like that. Oh, that's cute, I think. Okay, and then, yeah. Oh, you know what? I want to stamp that before I put it on there, so I will do that part last. Okay, here's the next one. Cute. I just did all sorts of fun colors because they're gingerbread, you know? It's like decorating up your cookies. Just do some fun colors. I love this paper with the candies on it. I think it is so adorable. So for Thanksgiving, I'm just doing what is normal for our family and what the grandkids like. I always have to make deviled eggs and rolls. The boys in particular love rolls, and I don't do my rolls from scratch. I buy the Rhodes bread dough that's already in the dough balls, and I do the rolls that way. So the day before is when I'm going to do the pies and do the rolls and the deviled eggs. And then I'm going to get everything else ready, just so that then on Thursday, all I have to do is the hot foods, really. So we always do, well, the turkey dressing, and I'm not a homemade dressing person either. I do stovetop, and potatoes and gravy, and Sweet potatoes, I just do mine with butter, brown sugar, and put the big marshmallows on top, and we toast those in the oven at the end. And I have to put lots of marshmallows on because, you know, that's always the kids' favorite part. My grandkids are mostly all getting pretty big now. So this is the next one. I love this little polka dot paper. And let's see, cranberry sauce. Sometimes I do have a really yummy cranberry chutney recipe that I like to make, but I'm not doing that one this year. But it's really good. It's got golden raisins and Granny Smith apples and walnuts in it, and fresh whole cranberries. It's really, really yummy. And that is also a good, I like to have cranberry sauce with ham and stuff too. And that one's really good to have with ham. If you could make a batch of it actually and then freeze half of it, and if you do ham for Christmas or whatever, and have it for that. But it's really delicious, the spices and everything that go into it. Yummy, yummy. So I'll probably do the sweet potatoes and have them in the pan ready to go, and the cranberry sauce in the dish and all that kind of stuff the day before. It just makes it so much easier. My kitchen is not real big, so there's not a lot of room for people to be in there helping. Okay, here's the next one. I did it in Christmas colors. I'm sorry, Marianne. That's really tough. I'm glad that somebody else is doing Thanksgiving and you don't have to like do all the work. Okay. I was talking to my sister the other day. She was at my house and talking about, you know, when I was a kid, we always had to do the dishes. If we went to my grandma's for Thanksgiving, or yeah, it was usually Thanksgiving. I don't ever remember going to their house for Christmas, but you know, whenever there was a get together, us, the kids in the family, which was me, my sisters were like in high school when I was born. So you know, we're like, it's a different generation. So I was in with my cousins' kids, you know, I mean, as kids. And so we were the ones always having to do the dishes. And here I am, several generations later, and still doing the dishes. Except for, I have to say, now my husband and I can't say I do the dishes actually, because my husband and son, they get in the kitchen and do dishes. But I am not like my mom. I am one of those people that I try to do dishes as I cook, so there's not a big mess afterwards. My mom, we tease about this. She would dirty up everything in the kitchen making a meal. And it's like, nope, I'm not going to be that way. I try to do them as I'm preparing, because I don't want that mess for myself or anybody else to have to clean up afterwards. That's no fun. I got the cutest, I always like to get some paper plates, the dessert ones for pie, because you've already, talking about dishes, you've already got everything either washed up or in the dishwasher. And then it's like, let's not dirty up more dishes again for pie, because pie's usually later, right? And so I found some at Walmart. They are so cute. They are like almost in between a plate and a bowl, but they're pretty shallow. But I mean, if you were having like a cobbler for dessert or something like that, that, you know, you'd rather have more of a little bit of a bowl, these are perfect for that. But they have gingerbread on them. They are so cute. I saw some other ones in there with trucks that are all done in the black and white gingham and stuff. They just really have some cute paper plate things in there. I don't care for having meals on, I mean, unless you're camping or picnicking or something like that, on paper plates. But dessert, that's kind of different. I don't mind that. And these are, you know, the heavier kind. And they're fun. I always like to get fun napkins too for whatever holiday. I used a gel pen to do the little hearts. That's why they kind of look pearly. And the greeting is afterwards, so you don't have to have that greeting on there. I'm going to bring the stamp set back over again. I put that on there. You can put polka dots on there. I put polka dots on mine just with my darker colored marker on each of them. I put some little polka dots. But you don't have to put any greeting, or you can put any of these other sayings that are in here. Peppermint kisses, you warm my heart. So, but for tags, I thought the Just For You was really kind of cute. And I love that font and the little hearts on it. So cute. I have been busy, busy, busy creating things. So I've got some fun stuff to show you tomorrow for Saturday morning makes. I always get these big ideas at the last minute prior to holidays. Like, oh, I want to get this done. And it's like you've got a gazillion things to do, and here you are trying to get crafty things done at the same time. I don't know why I do that to myself, but it seems like every year I'm doing that. And I love these tags. I love making these cute tags. But do people really look at them, do you think? I think adults do, but kids, it's like they're looking for who the present goes to, and then everything gets torn off, and it's like, did you look at the cute tag? Oh, I did make two with this candy paper. It's so cute. This one would have to go on a girl's present, I think. So cute. All right. Thank you so much. These are fun, fun, fun. Fun to make anyway. And if you didn't put that Just For You on there, wouldn't these be cute ornaments? I think so. I thought about that after I stamped them all up with the Just For You, because I don't think, you know, that definitely says, you know, tag or whatever. Or you could make these tags and then put it on the front of a card. But for an ornament, I would either not put a sentiment or I would pick one of those other ones. But I think these would be really super cute tags. I mean, ornaments. And I've debated whether I should go back and add some sparkle. Kind of like some sparkle, but I just haven't completely decided about that yet. Look at this paper. I thought it was interesting. Okay, last one. I was having this dream last night. I don't even remember. It's weird. Sometimes I'll have these dreams that are just so involved, and then all of a sudden it's like the end, and I wake up. I mean, it's just, I always think it's the weirdest thing when that happens too. It's like dream over, the end, and wide open my eyes come. And so that happened last night. And then when I woke up, and the neighborhood we live in is primarily, well, there has been a few younger people move in, but mostly around me is like retired people or people my age. And I've heard this before. It was after 1 o'clock in the morning, and I could, excuse me, it was so faint, but I could hear like the bass. I could hear music, like somebody had it on extremely loud. It was, to me, what it sounded like was inside their home, but I could hear the bass. I mean, sometimes I think I have super hearing, and other times it's like I keep saying, huh? But my husband, he turned over and did something. I thought, okay, I think he's awake. I'm going to tell him. And I said, somebody's got music playing really loud. So I could tell he was listening. And he's like, I don't hear anything. And I thought, oh, I'm not surprised, because it was such a faint, you know, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but my ears for some reason just pick up that bass sound. And I just always think that's weird, especially where we live, and the people that live in our neighborhood. And it's like, who is getting jiggy with it at this time? This To and From is a peg stamp that I used to sell close to my heart many moons ago, and I've had it forever, but it's just, I love the little kind of stitched look about it. It's my favorite To and From stamp. Oh, I didn't get it on there very good. Oh, well, let me see what I can do to fix that. Because it's a wood block stamp, there's no way I can go back over it and get it lined up good enough. Right, to fix it. So I'll improvise and get it good enough. Okay. That works. It's all about that base. Yeah. Ooh, a mini album. Do you show that on your channel, Dawn? I would love to see it. I love little mini albums and stuff like that. I have made a few and altered books. I made my sister, one of my sisters, she lives up in Alaska, and I did an altered book for her that was all, it had an Asian theme. And I had really a lot of fun collecting all the different, oh, this one didn't have a pattern on the back. All the Asian things to put in it. And I went to one of the used bookstores. I've told this story before, but oh, look, I didn't stamp it. I'm busy talking and not paying attention to what I'm doing. Well, let me see if I can get it on here. So I went into this used bookstore here in town, and I think I think she owned the bookstore, and I told her what I was looking for. And, you know, it wasn't like I was looking for one that was any particular storyline or anything like that. I just wanted one that I could cut or tear things out of to put in my book that I was making. And I said something about that I was going to be just, you know, tearing or cutting things out of it. And she got so offended that I would do that to a book, I guess. So I don't think I ended up buying one there because I could just tell that, you know, she was not happy about that. And so I think I went to one of our little antique malls that we have here that has, it's one of those places that has all the different booths in it, that has antique things and crafty things and stuff like that. I think that's where I ended up getting the book that I used. And then we have a store here that sells all kinds of Asian dishes and knick-knacky kind of things. And I went there and got some stuff. And I have a ton of Asian themed stamps already. So another thing I used in it was like one of the fortunes from a fortune cookie, and a placemat from a Chinese restaurant that we'd gone to. I didn't stick to one, like Japanese, Chinese, whatever. I didn't stick to one particular part of, you know, that. But it just turned out really cool, I thought. And it was a lot of fun. And then I did another altered book, and I've shown that one before. And it was a tongue-in-cheek like spell book. When I get done here, I will show it really quick. I wanted it to just be silly and fun because I'm not into that kind of stuff. So I'll have to show it to you. So I've done couple of altered books and a few different mini books. So I've done one or two of those like flip flop books or flip flap books or whatever you call them, where it has all the different pages that flip this way or open that way. And last year I made each of our grandkids a like traveler's book type thing, and that was really fun. Oopsie, forgot to stamp it first. Too late now, I've got this glue on here. Yeah, so each one of them got a different book, and then I ended up going to the Dollar Tree to find boxes to put them in, and I found just the perfect, nice little boxes that had, they almost opened up like a book themselves. The lid was like attached on the side, and the little journals fit just right in them. And the kids liked the boxes, I think, as much as they liked the books. But yeah, those turned out fun. They each have 4 little books inside of them, 2 that had plain pages where they could draw or paste things in, and 2 that had lined pages that they could write into or whatever. And I believe I did a video on those too, so that's here on my channel somewhere. Oh, I noticed, and I don't know when this change happened, but I think it happened recently, that my videos that I'm doing live aren't mixed in with the other videos now. They're on like their own tab that says live, so I don't like that, but you know, because people don't know to look at that, I don't think. So there was like an option where you could have on your main page that like when somebody comes to your channel, that you can have sections. So I added the section for the live videos to pop up on that main page too, but I couldn't figure out, and I'm not sure that you can have them interspersed together like they were before. So I'm not sure why they did that. I like doing live videos because when you're done with it, it just pops up. I mean, it's right there on your channel. It doesn't take hours to load it. And I don't go back and edit my videos anyway. But yeah, sometimes even if you do a 10 or 15 minute long video, it takes a half hour, 45 minutes for it to load up. All right. Having that back on them makes them just a little more sturdy too. So there is that. Yeah, I'm not into doing all the editing. What did I do with my pen? Here it is. I used to, when I did my videos using a movie camera, then Windows had a movie program that was so easy, and that's always what I used. And then they did away with that program, which was a bummer. And at that point, that's when I quit editing my videos, because then I had to go searching for something else to use to edit things, and it's like, no. But I used to put like a introduction thing and a credit thing at the end and all that, but not anymore. That would be really time consuming now, I think, not having that program. And maybe there's something out there that is just as easy as that was. I don't know. Okay, so I used a really tiny hole punch to make my little holes there. And I've got some jingle bells, and I've got different twine. And I have these, which I never had braces on my teeth as much as I wanted to, but that was too expensive back then. But I do have these, which are floss threaders that people who have braces on their teeth can thread the dental floss through so they can clean their teeth. But they sure are handy for crafting. And you can get one box of them and they just last forever. Okay, so I've got different colors here, but I'm not going to be too fussy about it. Let's see, how long do I want to make my... I'll go ahead and cut 2 or 3 pieces in the red and white, and then we'll go from there. Okay, then I always have to think about which end goes through first. I think it's my looped end. So you just poke that thing through the hole and then put your thread in there so that the loop grabs it and pulls it through. Ta-da! So easy peasy. And then I've got little jingle bells. And let me see if I can get it through the... I don't know. I'll try. Might not be able to. It's pretty tight. Maybe I need to do a bigger bell. It's not going to go through there. All right. I could do a red bell. Let me see if that looks too big once I get the twine through it. Oh, I must have dropped it. It's easier getting them through the tag than it is this. I'm not being very coordinated. There we go. Cute. Let's see, probably what I should have done was put that on before I put it through the loop, because otherwise then that bell is going to slide up the thread. So let me do that. Your first one's always an experiment and then you learn, right? There we go. Yeah, that's better because then the bell is going to stay put better. Not the end. Cute. Okay, I will do the rest of those in a bit. Let me grab that book that I talked about, and I will, since I was talking about it, and I will show it to you real quick. It'll take me a second to stand up because of my stupid arthritic knees. Okay, here we go. All right. So I know I've shown this before, but it must have been Halloween time when I made it. But I was mostly proud of how the cover turned out because this was a paper I had in my stash. And it's got this kind of lizardy snake type texture to it. And so what I did was I believe I kind of spritzed it with water and crinkled it all up, and I painted my book black. So there you can see this is where the paper ends, but I had painted the cover of the book black. And then I put that paper on there, and I just thought it turned out so cool. And then I had this really nice velvet paper. That's also paper that I had, and I did that as the around the binding. And then little tiny micro beads that I put along the edge of that velvet paper. And then this was a little frame that I had in my stash, and I just rubbed some gold. I think I painted it black. I can't remember now. It's been a long time since I made this. But it was either already dark and I went over the top with some kind of gold rub and buff or something. And then I printed this out on vellum, spells, potions, and incantations. And here's the back. It's just, as you can see, you can tell how I wadded it up and distressed it. I think I sanded it a little bit to get the lighter texture. And then I had these fun corners that I think were a Tim Holtz thing that I put on the corners of the book, made it look all fancy. But the inside, let me see if I can lift this up a little better. Hang tight here while I adjust. Okay, here we go. So I wanted the whole thing to be, like I said, kind of tongue-in-cheek, right? So this is the table of contents. Section 1 is spells, section 2 is potion, and section 3 is incantations. All right, and then some of my pages have come apart. I need to go back in and glue because I just created sections with the pages. So here's my spells. C plus A plus T equals cat. Spells, right? How you spell. D plus O, and I had this fun button here that of a dog that I put in the O, plus G is spells dog. So those are my spells. Here's my potions. And some of these were fun, like Tim Holtz ephemera type things. And I had this fun paper here that had all these apothecary things and stuff like that. So these were the potions. This is stamped and embossed here. I love the Shinola. That's a stamp that I have. And crows. Those who have watched me for very long know I love crows. So Carter's Little Liver Pills. Emma's Creamy Mask. It hides ghostly blemishes. So those are the spells, and then here's the incantations. Flapjacks and noodles, hamburgers rare, I want 2 poodles and make it a pair. Wintry mintry, cuttery corn, apple seed and apple thorn, wire briar, limberlock, 3 geese in a flock. 1 flew east, 1 flew west, and 1 flew over the cuckoo's nest. Ippity bippity salad green, oil vinegar, chi-chi bean, I call on Caesar's eternal soul, here and now to fill this bowl. And then I had this fun little button bowl. And I did this little sticker here. 2013 is when I did the book. Homemade. It's a little canning label thing, stamp. And peace porridge hot thing down here. So my incantations were like nursery rhyme things. And that's the whole extent of the book. But I had a lot of fun making this, mostly the cover. I just loved how the cover turned out. But anyway, it's fun to go back and look at that book. And I will, you guys get the drift of this. I'm just going to be attaching various colors of twine to finish up my little tags here with bells. And I will leave you be. You can go off and create something fabulous. I really appreciate that you stopped by my channel today. If you like what you saw, please give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, I would appreciate you subscribing to my channel. And if you have a channel, I will subscribe back. And come back tomorrow and take a look at Saturday Morning Makes if you want to. There's a whole bunch of people that participate, and you can check that out by searching the hashtag SatMornMakes. But I will see you in my next video. Take care in the meantime and have fun crafting. Bye-bye.